Go on the record, please. I'm Charlotte Mitchell, Chair of the Utilities Commission, and with me this morning are Commissioners Brown Bland, Clodfelter, Duffley, Hughes, McKissick, and Kimmerite. In compliance with State Government Ethics Act, I remind members of the Commission of their duty to avoid conflicts of interest and inquire at this time as to whether any of the member of the Commission has a known conflict of interest with respect to matters coming before us this morning. The record will reflect no conflicts have been identified, so we'll proceed with Public Staff. Item 1.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Tommy Williamson with the Energy Division. Item 1 are 8 applications by Dominion Electric North Carolina for new demand-side management and energy efficiency programs. The public staff has reviewed the 8 applications and recommends their approval as filed. Thank you.
Approval of the recommendation.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that the recommendation be approved, that the item be approved as recommended by the public staff. We've got a few questions. Commissioner McKissick.
Mr. Williamson, just a couple of questions which I'd like to ask you. I assume that what's being requested in this particular item is similar to what Dominion has in Virginia. Is that correct?
Yes, Commissioner. Generally, the process is we're 5% of Dominion's total territory, and Virginia's commission, they present their programs in Virginia, and generally as it goes, if they're approved in Virginia and then they're shown to be cost effective in North Carolina, they move for application in North Carolina.
Okay. Now, I noticed there were 4 items here that were basically incentives for non-residential entities or customers. And it looked like the amount that the average incentive would be was somewhere between, my gosh, I guess it was the first item was $7,500. The next item 2 was $14,864. Item 3, $9,900. And number 4 was $4,539. The thing I did not know is the universe of entities that actually receive those levels of subsidy or incentives. So, I mean, do we have any data about the number of customers that actually benefit from these incentives?
In the company's applications, they give an annual participation amount. And yes, generally these are low in the 30 to 50 customers per year range. But within each application, they do show the numbers. So yeah, it's a low number compared to a residential application.
Okay. And likewise, I guess we know the totality of the sums for each program.
Yes, sir.
Could you share that with us?
So for instance, in the E22 sub 614, which is the non-residential building automation program, the company has stated that, just a moment. And actually it's on page 7 of 19 of their application. They give the program participation. Roughly it's 30 participants would be added each year through 2026. And then on page 12 of 19 of the application, you can see that they list the incentives for each year. So for a total of the 5 years through 2026, the participant incentives were about $1 million, $1,125,000.
Okay. And I guess I had similar questions about the residential programs. Do you have that information?
Is there anyone in particular?
Well, I mean, I noticed that in particular, there was some concern expressed relating to the non-residential enhanced prescriptive program.
Okay, I'm at the application, Commissioner, so let me understand your question. Would you mind?
Well,
Asking me.
first of all, how many participants do we have in that program typically?
So the company in their application on page 7 indicates they're looking at about 600 participants, new participants annually through 2026. So it'd take us to about 3,000.
About 3,000 total.
Yes, sir.
And I guess in terms of the, I guess the two standards that have been utilized, the total resource cost test was one of them, and the other one was the utility cost test. I guess there were some concerns about whether it really was a program that was cost effective.
Yes, sir. So yes, actually on page 13 of their application, the company shows the 4 test cost effectiveness tests that are used. In the mechanism, they use cite the TRC, the total resource cost, and the utility test as the tests that are used as far as the mechanism is concerned. So yes, the utility test in this case came out at a ratio of 1.05. Showing cost effectiveness, and the TRC was just under 1 at 0.96.
And I guess the question that occurred was whether they considered revising the program and lowering the amount of the incentive to try to make it more than marginally cost effective.
Yes, sir, that's correct. We've had through discovery and communications with the company on these, we did have those communications and are looking to during the evaluation phase in the annual rider, doing some specific evaluation of individual application of this. We agree with you to make sure that we get over that marginal measure at this point. But yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I think that certainly addresses some of the concerns I had in reviewing this particular item. But I would hope that certainly with that program, that we would, review it more vigorously. And with the other ones, I know it's what Dominion's offering in Virginia, but we're separate and independent. And to the extent to which we might want to review it more vigorously, according to what we might see fit best for North Carolina ratepayers. In my mind, that's an appropriate measure to use when these matters come before us. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, Commissioner Klopfelter.
Mr. Williamson, remind me, if I ever knew, I've forgotten it now. When it comes time for us to consider cost recovery on and the rider on these, how are the costs allocated jurisdictionally? Are they allocated based on number of participants, ratio of participants in each program, North Carolina versus the rest of Dominion, or are they allocated, are the costs allocated based on total customer base? How are they allocated?
Yes, my understanding, yes, that they're based on the actual cost incurred in the states.
So it would be derivative of the number of participants in the state.
Yes.
Thank you. I just didn't remember if I ever knew.
All right, any additional questions? All right, hearing none, all in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? All right, that motion carries. All right, thank you, Mr. Williamson. We will proceed now to Public Staff Item 2.
Morning, Commissioners. My name is Jordan Nader with the Public Staff Energy Division. I'm presenting items 2 and 3 today. Item 2 is a request by Public Service Company of North Carolina for a temporary waiver to suspend routine meter testing of residential and commercial natural gas meters. The public staff has recommended, and the company has agreed to keep the Commission apprised of its inventory levels and that they shall continue to respond to customer requests for meter testing and evaluation. The public staff has reviewed the request and recommends the commission approve the temporary waiver subject to the conditions set forth in the proposed order. Thank you.
I think, Mr. Nader, I'll take a,
Move approval of the recommendation.
Second.
all right, it's been moved and seconded that the item be approved as recommended by the public staff. Mr. Nader, commission does have several questions about this item. Is there a representative of the company that can come forward?
There is.
Good morning, Chair Mitchell. First Commission, I'm Mary Lynn Gray with McGuire Woods, here on behalf of yes.
All right, good morning, Ms. Gregg. And just a few quick questions for you. Just curious about the number of meters in inventory at this time. So the petition suggests or states that there are about 2,800 meters in inventory right now, and that the number of meters received since 2021 is relatively few, I think just under 2,000. But company expects to receive 14,000 by the middle of December of this year. Is that, do I have all that right? Okay. Any concern about running out of meters prior to December?
The company have been listing meters, use the meter as an inventory to provide service to new customers and replace outdated meters, but the routine meter testing has put a real pinch on that, so they want to be able to have those meters available for you.
Okay, so far the company's been able to manage, anticipates continuing on through the end of the year.
Yes,
Okay.
and we would inform the commission otherwise.
Okay, and any reason, I mean, just following up there, does the company have a plan in place if it doesn't receive that number by the end of December?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I think that they feel confident that they're going to receive enough meters to be able to replace the ones that they need to and provide meters for the new customers. I think we would have heard otherwise if there were any major concerns.
Okay, and do you know, have you been informed as to the reason for the shortage of meters or the delay in the company's acquisition of meters?
Yes, ma'am. There were 3 reasons that we cited in our application. The main is there's a shortage of aluminum, and they also experienced a shortage of regulators. But I think this ERT device that transmits the reading to the reader as it drives by in his truck has been the primary driver of the shortage. They just don't have that chip available to put in the meters.
Okay, so it sounds like it's a materials issue and, okay, got it. Okay. Additional questions for Ms. Gregg or for the public staff?
Well, follow up on that, I guess then from what you just said, we should anticipate this is an industry-wide problem that Piedmont may be experiencing as well.
Ms. Grigg, do you know if there's any, and this is mostly curiosity at this point, it's not make or break to this vote, but, is there a plan in place or is the company working on a plan regarding these ERTs? I saw a reference to the fact that if they didn't have the ERTs, they'd have to roll trucks again. And is there any efficient way to cause that to happen, or will that just be spot by spot? Like this location had a new meter, everybody else is read by remote means, and then all of a sudden, just one person has to go out and read this one. Is that the way it would work, or is there a way to be more efficient, or is that in the planning?
Yeah, I mean, I think the company has represented that they will refurbish ERTs that come out of the field. So if a meter fails in testing, they will refurbish that ERT and make sure that ERT can go back in the field. Certainly, if they do have to go to a manual meter read, the company has represented to us that it would generally try and allocate those in similar areas to limit the amount of driving or time involved to read all those meters. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Commissioner McKissick.
And this, I appreciate your comments, and I understand that there's, about 14,000 meters are expected in December.
Yes, sir.
But if the shortfall in what your needs are does not get addressed, the only option is going to actual in-person meeting metering? Is that what I'm hearing?
That would be on a very limited basis, I would think.
Okay, on a limited basis. Okay,
Because we already have meters in the field that they read through the remote means.
got it.
So that's, I think 100% of meters handle that.
And what would your normal percentage be in inventory? I mean, typically under good conditions, no supply chain problems. I mean, what would you normally anticipate having available to you to meet your ongoing needs? Because the 14,000 means, sounds like a lot, but I don't know what you typically have in an inventory or stockpile that's available to address the demands that are present.
I don't recall, do you recall? Bill McCauley's here as well, and he has great historical information.
Oh, yes.
Just don't recall off the top of my head.
Anybody has historical archival information, I'm sure he does.
Morning, Bill McCauley, representing Public Service Company of North Carolina. Commissioner McKissick, the availability of meters in the past has not been an issue, and now it is. Therefore, as a smart business practice, we have tended to limit our inventory of meters to that which is kind of first in, first out, and we knew what our workflow is. For instance, we had approximately 15,000 customers a year. So we've been able to limit that. So our inventory has minimized because we can get the meter. What we're bringing you today is we can foresee this is going to become a problem if we don't do something. And so we're trying to do something in order for it not to be a problem.
Got it. Thank you, Mr. McCauley.
Absolutely.
All right, additional questions? All right, thank you, Ms. Gregg. Thank you, Mr. Nader. All in favor indicate with an eye. Is there anyone opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, we'll proceed now to public staff item 3.
Very good. Item 3 is a request by Piedmont Natural Gas Company for approval of a compressed natural gas fuel purchase agreement between the company and Maccabee Trucking. The public staff has reviewed the petition and recommends the commission issue the proposed order authorizing Piedmont to provide service to the customer under the agreement as filed. Thank you.
Move approval of the recommendation.
Questions, discussion? All in favor indicate with an eye. Is there anyone opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, thank you, Mr. Nader. You're getting the hang of this. All right, commission has before us our minutes of the April 25th staff conference for approval. I'll take a motion, please.
Second.
All right, any questions or discussion on the minutes? All in favor indicate with an eye. Is there anyone opposed? All right, those minutes are approved. All right, additional business for the commission this morning. Ms. Edmondson, Ms. Downey, y'all may come up.
I've never sat in this chair.
How does it
I
feel?
need it.
How does it feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So we wanted to introduce our new attorney to the commission. This is Ann Keyworth. Ann went to UNCG undergrad and North Carolina Central University School of Law. She then, I think this shows a really great heart for public service. She took her first year as an attorney, worked for AmeriCorps, and she began a offender reentry program to help them overcome legal barriers. She went on to clerk at the Massachusetts Court of Appeals for the Honorable Amy Blake, and then went to the North Carolina Supreme Court, where she was a clerk for Justice Ervin. And she had the opportunity to work on the coal ash cases, that the Stein opinion. And then she has been and she came from Howard Stallings Law Firm here in Raleigh. We are really excited to have her.
Well, good morning, Ms. Keyworth. Welcome. We are very glad you're here with us and in the building and look forward to hearing more from you.
I
Absolutely, and thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to working with everybody.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Downey. Anything else this morning?
No, I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank the members of the commission for the many years of interaction with you all. It's been a pleasure to appear before you. I was just sitting here thinking, I know I've known some of you longer than others. I'm looking at you, Commissioner Clodfelter. But it has been a pleasure working with you all and with the members of the commission staff. It's been an emotional couple of weeks for me. We moved last week, had my retirement thing last week. And I'm just going to miss everybody and look forward to this next stage of my life. Thank you.
Well, Ms. Downey, we will, just so everybody in the room knows, this will be your last, am I correct? This is your last staff conference. Well, we will certainly miss you in this building. And we have all been served well by your dedicated and excellent service. And so this is a bittersweet day. Obviously, we hate to say goodbye to you, but we want the best for you as you start this next exciting part of your life. So we wish you the best and say thank you so much for all of your years of service to the people of North Carolina and to the work that these agencies do. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any additional business for the commission this morning before we call it a morning? All right, hearing nothing, we'll be adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.
It's good.